This Sunday on Capitol Connection, Speaker Michael Madigan exits stage left.
I ask for a standing ovation for the legacy and the service of Speaker Michael J. Madigan.
I think that the institution is better off with him leaving.
The man known as the Velvet Hammer passes the gavel to the first black speaker in the state's 202-year history.
I think Speaker Madigan should be applauded for what he has done for this state.
We sit down one-on-one with House Speaker Chris Welch on his first full day in his new office and look back at Speaker Madigan's legacy, leadership, and legislative accomplishments.
A nearly decade-long corruption scheme.
And the clouds of controversy and corruption swirling around his closing chapter. Plus,
I am furious.
Can politics still provide a path to peace?
We're engaged in a great cultural war to see which worldview will survive.
How the lame duck session laid bare a state of rage.
Members on this floor who called us democratic terrorists.
As anger surges through American politics, Illinois debates law and order, liberty and justice, and tests whether this nation, in this state of rage, can long endure. It's all coming up on Capitol Connection.
From the Illinois State Capitol Rotunda, Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is asking the tough questions. This is Capitol Connection.
Welcome to Capitol Connection. I'm Mark Maxwell, reporting from the Illinois State House on this Sunday, January 17. Speaker Michael Madigan's career lasted half a century. It came to a close this Wednesday. 50 years to the day after he first swore the oath of office, Madigan voted with his party to elect a new speaker, Chris Welch, to take his place. We sat down one-on-one with Speaker Chris Welch on his first full day in his new office. Speaker Welch, it's a new title for you. Is it sinking in that Speaker Madigan is gone?
You know, I don't think it has fully sunk in yet because everything's been moving so fast. But there have been a couple of times where the emotions have hit me, where I had to stop and collect myself. This is a very emotional time. It's very momentous in our state's history, and you can't miss it. And it's just been an awesome occasion to be a part of.
I wonder how you'll remember Speaker Madigan. How do you view him in the state's history?
Well, I think in the state's history, when that book is written, you can't discount his role in why Democrats have supermajorities in both chambers and Democrats have control of all of the constitutional offices. He's a great strategist, and he helped build a strong Democratic Party. As a Speaker of the House, I think his legacy will be that, he's left schools better funded, that, he's left the chamber in good hands, diverse hands. It's representative of the state, probably the most diverse legislature in the history of the Illinois General Assembly, with 52% women, people of all colors and cultural backgrounds. That was Speaker Madigan who created that, situations that led to that. So I think when it's all said and done, and people, sometimes they don't really appreciate you until you're gone, I think history's going to look back well on Michael J. Madigan.
We asked Leader Durkin, political differences aside, the corruption chapter aside, we know that he's had his differences. Do you have anything that you admire about Speaker Madigan?
I don't have anything positive to say. I think the institution is better off with him leaving, and his record speaks for itself. We have budgets that are grossly unbalanced, pension systems that are wildly out of control. We have corruption at the worst level that is occurring with him regarding actions taking place within the House of Representatives. So I can't say that the Speaker has served this state well.
Would you like to respond to that?
The discourse in our politics has not led to anything positive and productive. And I do think that if we're going to get the difficult job done, get the important things that we know we need to do done, we have to lower the rhetoric.
There are business owners right now hurting in a number of ways. A lot of it's not their fault, but their livelihoods, in some cases their lives are on the line. And there is an animosity toward the executive branch right now because some of it may be misplaced, but some of it they feel their closures came from the governor. Is that part of the check on the executive that you hope to address? Or asked another way, how do you hope to give these business owners, these workers, hope that there's a new day coming?
Well, I certainly want to make sure we're listening to the science as well. And, you know, whatever we do, we got to follow the science and make sure we're doing things that's going to keep people safe. And, you know, I don't disagree with the governor on a lot of the things that he's done because, you know, Dr. Ezike and the folks at IDPH are working extremely hard every day. Those folks are real heroes, and I know that they're following the science. It's been unfortunate, some of the consequences that have happened, and one of those is the damage to small businesses. It's happening in districts all across the state. You know, they're all suffering. So what we have to do is find ways to help them, and one of those is, I talked to the governor today. I've been communicating with our congressional delegation, including Senator Durbin. We got to advocate for Joe Biden to, quickly as possible, not in 100 days, in the 30 days, to get another stimulus package that really sends good money to state and local governments. Because that's money, I believe, really we got to get to these small businesses and help them immediately.
If Congress does that, would Illinois need to decouple from the federal tax relief for S-corps and LLCs that allowed them that extra cash flow to go back and write off losses? Would Illinois have to suspend those tax breaks if Congress comes through to provide that relief?
I know the governor would like us to do that. He believes it can save us upwards of $500 million to $1 billion, and I'd like to take a look at that because the governor thinks that that's very important. So we should look at that. And we don't know how fast Congress is going to act. The new administration doesn't come in until January 20th, and the decoupling decision, I believe, has to be made before the end of the month. So we're going to have to look and see how quickly things move here, but things are going to happen fast.
Perhaps the most important question I could ask you is about how you will expand, contract, or the powers of the Speaker's office. You set the agenda in Springfield. A number of legislators feel they're not being heard and that entire corners of this state aren't being respected in this chamber. What can you do to make sure that they are?
Well, the first thing I did was what I did today. If you looked at the calendar, there was nothing on it. Normally, this would have been the day we would have adopted new rules. So we removed that from the calendar. We're going to seek member input pretty quickly, both sides of the aisle. And we're going to possibly make some changes to them. And so we got to take a look at that, see if there's a way to make that better so that members aren't as discontent.
Do you still have hope in this political system that it can actually deliver real results for people? And the reason I ask is because you addressed this in your remarks about the heat and the violence that we saw in our nation's capital. This building right now is under threat, as the FBI has said, because people for whatever, they're animated by anger of some kind. Do you think that the work you and your colleagues do here can pacify those tensions and deliver a tangible result?
I think the answer to that question is undoubtedly yes. I think what we saw in Georgia a week ago and what we saw in Illinois yesterday gives us a whole lot of hope for what lies ahead. We saw history made big time. A black man in the Deep South and a young 33-year-old Jewish man in the South were elected to the U.S. Senate. And here in 2021, a state that was founded in 1818, for the first time we have a black person as the Speaker of the House. That doesn't give you hope. I don't know what does. Now I see black boys and black girls in communities like mine and communities all across the state and the country. Now they see something, that they believe something, and now they can see it, that they can achieve it. That's real. I'll never forget the events of this week.
Well, Representative Welch, Speaker Welch, thank you for inviting us to your office, and we look forward to hearing from you throughout the session.
My pleasure. Look forward to seeing you, Anthony. Many more conversations ahead.
When we come back, Speaker Madigan exits stage left. We look back on his half a century in Springfield.